And that's a simple thing. It's not a hard thing, as long as you've got that knife at a right angle, take it the file at a right angle, taking the corner off of it. You can see how that was just a little bit of file. It's only gone in a little touch, hasn't it, the file, to get that shape. Maybe takes us a couple of seconds, a couple of files up and down on brass to get that shape there. Same with the round ones. Now, a tip with the round ones is to either use your triangle file, or, like I was talking about earlier on, one of these little knife files, as I call them, with a little edge, and where your mark is, to just get your little knife file and put a little notch there. And what it does is your round file can then sit in that notch, and you know it's not going to wander as you're filing. You know it's not going to slip this way or slip that way. You put a little notch and then work it into that notch, and you know it'll be where you wanted it to be. So that'll help you with positioning. And like I say, you can see what you're looking for, the sweep that you're looking for. All you have to do is do 2 circle ones with a flat bit in the middle, and then go in a bit with your triangle file, and you've just immediately got that effect. It's not like super clever or all like that. You've measured it. Measure it. When you measure, when you've practiced and stuff and you know what the measurement, then measure it all the way around your knife to see where it lands, to see if it lands funny and doesn't join up. Because if it does, you're better off starting from, like on this, I started from the center of the knife, worked my way outwards, and then as you come here, if there is a bit of distance, you can move them a little bit round the corner. You can get away with moving a little bit, like, let's see, maybe there where the ledges are a bit bigger, because I've had to move it just to make the pattern join in right around the knife. But like I say, once you've got that worked out, you carry on that all the way around. That's the same. That's that one side done. And then put your other piece of steel, put the knife together, because the knife would be in bits, put the 2 pieces of steel together and mark the exact places on your other piece of steel with them sandwiched together. Mark all your marks again, and start the same thing, obviously, on the opposite side. So just put your steel that way when you're filing it. Do you know what I mean? Then, by the time you've done that, you've ended up with this effect that we're looking at here, ready to put this in. Yeah? So, now we've done that, we'll talk about the centre ones, yeah, which is this middle one. I don't know what you'd call it, sort of just, that's how I did it. I don't know whether that's it is a proper file thing or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, whether it's a pattern I've made up or I've seen online, or I don't know, because when I got the files, that's what I ended up coming out with. But anyway, again, get yourself a piece of practice steel to work this out. See my practice steel there, right? And what you're looking for is these circles are the same centimetre measurement apart as these ones, but they're a centimetre on either side, which means you've got a centimetre on this side, and then it's a centimetre distance to the other side, and then a centimetre distance to this side, and then a centimetre distance to the other side. Obviously I aren't measuring this, but basically for that I used a much smaller round file, just a little tiny round file. I'd have liked to have had one a tiny little bit bigger than this, but this is what the file set came that I've had for years. It came in the file set, so little, almost a chainsaw file, not quite big enough, but chainsaw file, little round file. So what you end up with, you mark the marks out on your practice steel. You do your circles first, on one side, and then one on the other, and you end up with same right angle. It's the same angle for the little file as it is the other file, the same right angle off the knife, taking the corner clean off the edge, and you end up with dot, a little concave dot, little, all the same. Yeah. Then you take an edge of a file. This is the knife file I was talking about there, that's slimmer on one side than it is the other side. I use that. Also, you see these oval files, it's ovaled on both sides, which gives it a sharp edge on both sides, which is basically what I'm using there. So you can use that. Now, if this is his work surface, all the other ones were done at this angle, yeah? Now, with this one, as you start to file in, you'll have to start at that angle to get in, but then you turn it this way, like that, and creep, file in slowly, creep it as if you're cutting into it with an hacksaw blade at an angle like that, and just get these little marks, just go so far out. You watch how far it goes out into the thing as you're creeping, as you're turning it, as you're filing, you creep out and see how far you can get out, and when it gets to the distance you want, then you stop and file the next one. Now, the file marks are basically a short one angled towards the center of your circle bit. So we've got a short one there, I call that the short one, and you see why in a minute. Yep, little short one there, and then you do a little bigger one next to it. Yep, and then exactly the same, in at the same angle, short and a long one. It's almost like you've built a little tent around your little first one you did with your little round file. Yeah, remember this is on a small, quite a small scale, because you're using tiny files and only scratching it in. And like I say, these slots here showing you with a bigger file, I'd start the file off there so it digs in and it's not slipping, and then I'd change the angle like that, and I'd do it like that until it starts to creep across the piece of steel. As you get deeper, it'll start to creep, and when it gets to the distance you want, stop. Do it like that. And when it gets to as it creeps across the steel, when it gets to the distance you want, stop filing and move on to your next one. So you do that on that side, and then the exact same thing you've just done, you do on the other side. Short, two shorts, oh, that one's gone a bit long. Two shorts, two longs, two long ones, two short ones, and same on every dot, like closing each dot in, treat each dot as its own, put two little dots at either side slanting in on them, and then two little longer dots there on either side. Remember that this doesn't have to be, you're getting it as precise as you can by eye, but it doesn't have to be super precise. I mean, I've gone over that a bit on that line, that should have been a bit shorter there, but that, as you're looking at it, where's the knife, that is the pattern. As you can see, little round file in the middle, two little notches at either side. When you're practicing, make sure you've got about that, got a little video cut then, I don't know what we're going on. You need to make sure that the spaces that you've put these at is enough to get two sets of notches in on either side basically. But if you can look, the mark in the middle, two little notches at either side, treat every hole as its own, work your way along. The reason these are black inside is because I did it before heat treat. You want to be doing this before heat treat on your knife, so that the steel's still soft. That leaves it black inside, which looks quite nice, I think. Leaves it black inside when you dip it in the oil and heat treat it. It stays black in there. You can polish away until it's gone, I suppose. I didn't heat treat the spine. It's a different steel, so that one's not as dark. If I'd done it again, I'd have done the same thing and heat treated it anyway, just to make them all black and match. So there's one to think about yourself. But that's it, basically. That's the tutorial, and I know what you're thinking, gosh, you didn't even file anything. No, I didn't, but would it have helped if I'd have filed? If to see me filing over the bench, would it have really helped you figure this out? I don't think it would have done. Do you know what I mean? You just can't get the angle to show you stuff. Like I say, I've tried to explain it best I could. You've got one of these on either side, facing opposite ways, as you can see on that. And then in the middle is that sandwich. If you were just going along a blade, you might do this. But the key is really, once you've learnt this now, you can do any other pattern. You could stretch that pattern and play with it. Do you know what I mean? When I were practicing and stuff, and I'd practiced with that and stuff, I'd done other ones. I don't know where the piece of steel is now, but you could make them go all the way across, which will turn them into triangles that go backwards and forwards, give it a more modern edge. The changing the distance of the knots can give you more room in different shape files. Once you've done this, you'll realise that the rest of it, you've just got to play. You get yourself a practice piece of steel and you just have a go, and when you've finished and you look at the knife, you'll think, wow, you won't be able to believe you've done it. Like I say, that is the first bit of fancy file work I've tried, and I think the knife looks sweet. But yeah, that's my tutorial on file work. Like I say, I didn't do any filing, but is it going to help you? Is it better to explain what you're doing properly than to actually you show me my elbow filing some work that you can't see? Because I'll have to be either zoomed in that much you won't be able to see what I were doing, or zoomed in that far away you won't be able to see the steel. So I didn't see the point. So this is my no nonsense tutorial to file work. But please like and subscribe if you can, and I'll catch you later on another video. But until then, Camper Kosh signing out.